It's a rare person who would look at this and think, man, that'd make for some killer snorkeling. But that's exactly what attracts nearly 100 people to the Salmon River on a clear July morning.
Let's see, how many people have done this before? Raise your hands. Look at that, that's awesome.
Well, fun is a big part of it. The main goal of the day is to count every spring chinook and steelhead fish in the Salmon River watershed. As crazy as that seems, they've been doing it for 24 years. That makes this one of the longest and most comprehensive fish surveys on the West Coast.
Okay, so we need at least one person for this reach.
Professional biologists work side by side with volunteers. The teams divide the forks of the Salmon River and its tributaries, more than 80 miles of river in all, into 3 to 4 mile stretches.
Who would like to go with Jimmy? Bobby?
And the man who claims the most dangerous reach? Will Harling.
What do you think? That could be, this could be you. All right, so we're gonna need to flag our put in and John's takeout right over there.
Will's team consists of biologists Sophie Price and Alan Crockett. And for the first time, Will's 14-year-old son, Owen.
Owen, I'm really excited. This is your first run on our home river. French to Matthews is one of the most dangerous reaches on the river. And beautiful. Deep pools, big waterfalls. There's a beautiful hole right around the corner here that, sometimes had up to 40 fish in it. I'm not expecting to see much today.
The Salmon River Fish Dive is co-run by the Salmon River Restoration Council and the U.S. Forest Service. In the world of biology, it's rare to try to count an entire population because it's a lot of work. But they do it here because it's such a small and important run.
The survey, we work together as a team. We have to walk around the rapids. Sometimes you can float through and it's kind of a judgment call of, whether it's safe or not. And one person will flush out the bubble curtain in case fish are hanging up in the bubbles. And then we go through the hole. We did see one pod of 5 healthy Chinook in one pool. It was beautiful. They circled up for a minute before they scattered.
In bountiful years, they compare counts at the bottom of each pool. But this year, the salmon have been elusive.
Then it's searching under ledges, diving along the margins and going under the boulders. You see anything? No, I didn't either.
The Salmon River flows through steep mountain valleys. It's accessible by foot only in places, and you can forget about cell service, which means the team has to carry everything they'll need in their packs. And should someone get hurt, it's going to be a hard hike out.
It's kind of the primo reach. It's also the most advanced, but also I think the most beautiful, and there's lots of big deep pools.
Sophie has snorkeled multiple reaches over the past few years as a biologist for the Karuk tribe, but never this one.
You definitely get a little banged up going down rapids if you're going down the exciting ones.
How do you protect yourself?
My personal strategy is wearing a really thick wetsuit, and then I always have my hands out in front of my face, because you often dive straight into a bubble curtain and you also can't see anything, so it's extra exciting.
There was one time where I almost went over a small fall head first because it looked so similar underwater to a lot of the riffles, but I kind of caught myself and avoided that. It's so amazing. Like, there was this one moment today where there was a fish kind of resting near a rock, as it was swimming away, it kind of just swam right over my hand and about 4 inches from my mask. And it was just such an incredible experience.
He inspires me to see it through new eyes. Watching him and seeing how he moves across the rocks, how he moves through the water, it gives me hope that there's going to be people doing this dive for another 20 years. So what do we got the tally so far?
We've got 14 Chinook adults and 1 jack that you saw, and we've got 8 half-pounders.
Well, it's bad, but it could be worse.
It's true.
To give a sense of just how bad, this is footage Will shot in these pools in years past. And this is now. For Will, the salmon are much more than just numbers. They're practically family. He was born just up the river's banks in an old mining cabin.
You know, when I was a kid growing up on the Salmon River, fishing for spring Chinook salmon was a way of life. Pretty much every hole had fish in it. But in the mid-'80s, that changed, and all of a sudden, the salmon were dying from 1,000 cuts, from the legacy of mining, from the legacy of logging, and then finally from the droughts.
Biologists have documented that the spring runs have fallen from thousands of fish to hundreds.
We knew there weren't enough to harvest anymore. And, you know, that was a really, really sad time for me. You know, I want to pass that on to Owen, the ability to be able to come down and feel that responsibility to, you know, to have a role, to feed the family, you know, and we're a long ways from that right now.
The salmon decline impacts more than just the local ecosystem. The Salmon River flows into the Klamath River, which has its headwaters in Oregon, and there's a plan pending to remove the Klamath's 4 dams beginning in 2020.
This is the last wild run of spring Chinook salmon in the Klamath River system. So with dam removal right around the corner, you know, looking to, you know, what are those genetics that are going to restore a spring run salmon to the upper Klamath Basin? I mean, these are those fish.
New research shows spring Chinook are evolutionarily distinct from fall Chinook. So to further protect these Salmon River springers, the Karuk tribe and the Salmon River Restoration Council have petitioned to get them listed as endangered.
So the fact that we have a couple hundred fish hanging on here is absolutely critical.
The shadows are growing long by the time Will and his team finish their reach. Any hope that other teams might have fared better evaporates as they return to town.
Let's see, we'll fill this in.
There is one last tributary left to count, but so far the total stands at only 123 spring Chinook adults in all of the Salmon River watershed.
That is pathetic. Oh, wait. Oh, second worst year on record.
Second or third. I mean, we don't know. Last year, Wooly had...
Will holds out hope that removing the Klamath River dams and other conservation measures, along with the protections that would come from an endangered species listing, could help the spring Chinook rebound. Because the idea of a salmon river without salmon, it's just unimaginable.
It makes me feel sick in my stomach, you know? I mean, I always said I wouldn't want to be alive if my kid wouldn't be able to fish in the Salmon River. Wouldn't be able to see salmon. It's part of who we are, you know. I mean, you got to keep the faith, you know, because what else is there?